Hello everyone. So welcome you all to a short tutorials Meghalaya's first attempted channel. So my dear friends, today we are going to study CDP Unit 3, that is Gender Development Sub-Unit 3. That is what? That is Gender Bias and Educational Practices, or Gender Inequality or Educational Practices. Alright, so we are going to see this particular topic. So I think before watching this, you should better watch the other two, that is video 1 and video 2 of Unit 3, and then you watch this video number 3. Right, so here what we have. So what do we mean by gender bias or gender inequality? Actually, I've already explained this before, right, in the previous video, that gender is social contract or a social norm assigned to us by the society. However, sex means it is something biological which we inherit from our parents through the genetic materials, right? Now, is gender good for the society? Actually, gender is not so good for the society because of gender stereotypes, which we have seen in the previous video. So what is gender stereotype? Gender stereotype means having a thought which discriminates between male and female. All right, which means suppose if you are gender stereotypical person, then you will discriminate between what man can do and what female can do. All right, that means you are gender stereotypical person, right? So here let's see, gender bias or gender inequality refers to the unequal treatment or perception of individuals based on their gender. It stems from traditional gender roles and societal norms that favor one gender over another, often leading to discrimination and unequal opportunities in various spheres of life, such as education, employment, healthcare, and political representation. Now, here, where do we see this gender bias or gender inequality? Before I explain this, what is mean by bias? Bias means you are favoring one gender over the other. Suppose I have two children, John and Rihanna, and I favor my daughter more. I love my Rihanna more. I give her more time, I give her more toys, I buy her more chocolates than John, and I kind of ignore John. Then what am I doing? I am biased, which means I am biased towards my daughter. All right, which means I love Rihanna more than John. I take care of Rihanna more and John less, which means I am discriminating with whom? I am discriminating John. I am not taking care of John enough, right? So this is what gender discrimination or gender bias means. So this you can see even in your classroom. Some teachers, they favor more boys than girls, while on the other hand, some teachers, they favor more girls and less boys. But as a teacher, we should be equal, non-partial, non-biased. All right, we have to have that etiquette in order to be a good teacher. Don't pay much attention to either boys or girls. If you want to pay attention, pay them equally and don't ignore the other. You will also be able to relate with yourself that suppose you ask questions, sometimes you prefer to ask boys more or girls more. You analyze this and find out yourself. And you might have also seen that there are certain teachers who have got their favorite students, which is wrong. According to my qualification, whatever I have learned during my B.Ed, I have learned that we teachers should not have favorite student. If suppose I say Rihanna is my favorite student and John is my favorite student, then I am discriminating with the rest of the class. I am favoring only Rihanna and John. So this is a very bad example. As teachers, we should not have favorite student. All right, if you have any favorite student, means you are discriminating with the other students of the class, right? Well, now I think, all right, this slide I will not go through this slide. I will not explain this one because it's the same. This one, of course, you can take the screenshot and you can write it in your notebook. All right, but I will explain it from your notes. So these are our notes, right? This is the notes which I have given you. Now, gender bias refers to the unequal treatment or opportunities to individuals may face on their gender. Now, inequality in what? Inequality can be in education, inequality can be in healthcare, inequality can be in the job or the employment, right? So bias means you are favoring one gender over the other. So here are some examples of gender bias in education. So how can somebody bias in gender? Stereotyping. Teachers may hold stereotypical beliefs about what subject boys and girls are good at, potentially limiting students' choices and opportunities. Gendered classroom. Now you see, here, example is given that some teachers say yes, boys can do better in mathematics and girls cannot do. Even though you are not serious, you are just joking in the class that yes, I can see your exam answer sheet and I can find out that boys have outperformed the girls in the mathematics. But this is not the way. If you are a good teacher, you should not be talking this way in the classroom. Right? If you talk this way, you are a stereotypical person, you have an old thinking, and you discriminate between boys and girls. Even though their performances can be this way, but you have no right to speak this way, right? Being a good teacher. So, and we cannot say that yes, Rihanna is very good in English and John is very good in mathematics. This is wrong, all right? This is wrong. So maybe many a times, knowingly or unknowingly, you do certain type of act which reflects your stereotypical thinking and your gender biasness. Now, activities. Some teachers may inadvertently assign certain tasks or activities based on gender, reinforcing traditional gender roles. Now you see, many a times in schools, you will see when we have farewell program, or when we have welcome program, or when we have teachers day, children's day, you will see that teachers are given the responsibilities and in charges. And what do the teachers do? Oh, floral arrangement, girls please do. Stage decoration, girls do. Balloon, inflating the balloons, girls do. And lifting the benches, boys do. Then sweeping the floor, girls do. Then going to the market and buying the eatables for the program, boys go and do. So this is gender discrimination, right? Which means you have identified the roles, you have assigned the roles according to the gender of the children. So this is also a kind of gender biasness and gender inequality, because there might be some boys who would like to decorate the stage, who would like to inflate the balloons or blow the balloons, and there might be some girls who might like to go to the market, right? So that's why you have to be balanced equally. Lack of female role models. The underrepresentation of female teachers and leaders in STEM fields can discourage girls from pursuing these subjects. Now, what is STEM? STEM. What is this? This means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, you will find that there are a large number of boys in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics field compared to the girls. And you will also see that the teachers who come to teach, they are not from mathematics or engineering or technology or science background. So this is also a kind of gender discrimination. Which, suppose if I have a maths teacher and she is a lady, then, and I am a girl, so I will think that yes, my teacher can teach mathematics, then of course I can also teach mathematics. If my teacher is a physics teacher, then of course I can also teach physics. And if my teacher can be an engineer, then of course I can also be the engineer, right? So this is how we get inspired. Now, gender neutral language. Using language that is biased towards one gender can discourage students who do not identify with that gender. Now see, in the classroom, many a times we are gender biased. We may narrate some stories or we may say something, but most often, most frequently, we use the word he or his, right? We prefer boys, but it should not be this way. Gendered school supplies. Some schools may provide or encourage gender specific school supplies, reinforcing stereotypes about what boys and girls should be interested in. So, gendered school supplies means there are, we all have games and sports in our school, right? Games and sports, SUPWs and all. So some school might prefer that the children should play football and cricket, while some school might prefer that the children should play indoor games like carom board or badminton or table tennis, right? So these are again example of gender biasness. Unequal participation in classroom discussions. Boys may be discouraged or boys may be encouraged to speak more often than girls, affecting their confidence and involvement. So as teachers, you should take care that you are giving equal opportunity to all 30 or 50 or 100 students in your class. You do not discriminate among them. Now suppose, I know most of you like to ask questions to the student who is sitting right in front of you, or maybe the last bench, but you always forget the middle ones. This is what happens with you, right? I understand that, but it should not be the case. As teachers, the first thing you should know is that you should know the name of each student. Even if you have 10 students or 100 students in your class, you should know them by name, and you should call them by name. Of course, I know when you are new, maybe 1 week, 2 week, then of course you might know the name of each student, but by the end of the month, it is our duty to know the name of the student and call them by name. Not, hey blue jacket, you stand up. Hey, that spekwala, you stand up. That long hair, you stand up. That sitting next to green bag, stand up. This is not the way, right? This is very bad, very rude. Those teachers who have the habit of speaking this way, they are not fit to be teachers, according to me. They themselves need to learn first how to respect the students, and then only they can expect the respect in return. So we as teachers, we should call the students by name, right, respectfully, and ask questions to everyone in the class. It should not be in a discriminative manner. Gendered curriculum materials may not adequately represent the contribution and experience of both genders, leading to a skewed perspective. So the curriculum we have in the school, both the scholastic as well as the scholastic activities we have in the school, should be according to the gender. It should be equal to both the genders. Lack of sex education in some schools, or in some cases, girls may receive inadequate or biased sex education, leading to misinformation and potential health risks. So what does it say? It says that we need to give equal importance to both the boys and girls in the class when we are talking about sex education. And we should not favor the boys or the girls. And in most of the cases we have seen is that males are favored and girls are neglected. They are not informed about their health before pregnancy, during pregnancy, after pregnancy, and how they can take care of their reproductive health, and what is family planning, what is child planning, what are the type of preventive measures you can use, what are the preventive measures you can use to avoid pregnancy, what is barrier method, what is medicinal method, what is surgical method. So all these pros and cons should be informed to the children, so that they understand when they become a woman that how many childs they should have, or how they can take care of their reproductive health, or what is the gap duration they should keep when having a child. Some they have children every year, some they have children every 2 years, some they have children every 3 years. So what is the minimum age gap should be there between their children? So it should be around 3 years, right? When you have a child, then wait for 3 years, then again you can plan for the next child. But what we see, especially in rural areas, is that they go on delivering child year after year, which impacts the educational quality of the child of that family, the financial problem, they add up to the financial problem of that family, health issues of that family, and they are not able to live a life which they should be living when they have fewer family members. So if they have more family members, that means more demand, right, for the food, for the clothes, for the house, for the rooms, for the education, for the health. So these are the things we should consider as parents and teachers. Discipline disparities. Boys and girls may be treated differently when it comes to discipline, with boys receiving harsher punishment for similar behaviors. Of course, punishment word is mentioned here, But we know that in India, we cannot punish any student. This is illegal, right? If we punish anybody physically or any corporal punishment is given to the child, then that teacher is liable to be investigated or to be taken into police custody, right? If they, even after all this, I see some teachers, they still beat up the children. This is very bad. You have no right to touch a child or beat a child. And at the same time, what I feel as a teacher is that not only corporal punishment. Why to ban only corporal punishment? There are many teachers who does what, of course they may not be beating the child, but they traumatize the child, they torture the children, they say they affect their mental abilities, they affect their emotional health, mental health by discriminating. There are many teachers I have seen who call the children that you are good for nothing, nothing goes into your head, how many times I'll teach you, you take tuitions, you do that, you do this, and they bring down the moral of the child, or they affect the child negatively. In certain cases, if this mental trauma is given to the child, they may take certain extreme steps. So teachers, be careful what type of words you are using in front of the child. Never discriminate a child. Never say, hey, Rihanna is doing better than John is doing better than Arjun. It should not be this way, right? It should not be this way. Treat everybody equally. Do not discriminate. Lack of inclusive policies. Some schools may lack inclusive policies that address the unique needs of transgender and non-binary students, leading to discrimination. Here are some examples which we can see. So, we know that there are males, there are females, and we also know that there is another third gender that is called transgender, which means that person is neither a boy nor a girl, right? But when we talk about transgender, commonly we call it as hijra, right? Hijra. So when we talk about hijra, what happens is that, see, hijra or transgender and lesbian and gay, they are separate. They are not same. See, gay we see many times, right? Gay, you might have a gay friend or you might have a lesbian friend. No problem with that. But then what you should understand is that, see, when we see a lesbian or when we see a gay, we say like, he's a transgender, he's a hijra. But this is wrong. This is not the way. And this is not true also. Biologically also, this is not true. Transgender have different reproductive organ, which means they are neither male, they are neither female, which means they have no female sex organ, and at the same time they don't have male sex organ. So that's why they are somewhere in between. So that's why we call them as transgender or other. But when we talk about gay or lesbian, then gay and lesbian are who? They are just like you and me, normal people. Gay means normal boy like me and you, and normal girl like me and you. So they are gay. Gay have the sexual organ which a male have, normal sexual organ, but only the difference is that he have a feeling or affinity for other boy. Man having feeling for other boy is known as gay, and female having the same sex organ like another female but having the affection or affinity or love or interest or feeling for another woman is known as what? Is known as a lesbian. So when a man loves a man, or when a man falls in love with a man, that is called gay, and when a female falls in love with a female, that is called lesbian, right? So these are the differences. So lesbian and gay are as normal as you and me, but only the difference is that they love the gender of the same, they love person of the same sex. But transgender, they are different. They are neither male nor female. All right, I hope I was able to make you understand this particular topic. Now, how can we take care of gender inequalities? So gender inclusive curriculum, developing a curriculum that includes diverse perspective and contribution of individuals of all genders. So see, how can we do it? Inclusive curriculum means in school also, suppose we have a male, female, and maybe we might have transgender also. So we should take care that all the gender, they have the contribution, they are able to express themselves, they are able to enjoy all the rights given to them. So they should be feeling accepted. Diverse literature, including books and materials with protagonists and authors of various gender to promote inclusivity. Now you will see in many government job, even the transgenders, they have reservation, right? Many central job you will see transgender, they have reservation. Why? To promote equality, so that transgenders, they do not feel neglected and ignored. All right, that's why they are given jobs. And it says that we should also include the books and poems written by the transgenders or other genders, so that gender equality can be promoted. Like in a school, we should not have all the books which are authored or which are written by the male only or female only. It should be equal along with transgender. Equal participation, encouraging all students regardless of gender to participate actively in class discussions and activities. Now we as teachers should encourage the boys and girls, and even if third gender we have in our class, to participate equally in all the activities and discussions in the class. Professional development, providing training for teachers on recognizing and addressing gender bias in the classroom. See, we as teachers, many a time we forget what we are saying, what we are doing. We don't realize that. So in order to realize what we do, how we behave, whether we are stereotypical, whether we are gender biased, we should undergo certain type of trainings, and schools should take the responsibility of conducting such trainings where the teachers can benefit actively. Now, supportive environment, creating a school environment that is safe and supportive for LGBTQ plus students and teachers. Now, you might have seen this word LGBTQ plus many times. Those who are interested in Instagram reels, then Facebook, then YouTube, you will come across this LGBTQ terms. Now what does it mean? It means L stands for lesbian, G stands for gay, B stands for bisexual, T stands for transgender, and Q stands for the community. All right, for the queer, gender queer. So all this community together. So, we should create a school environment that is safe and supportive for LGBTQ plus students and teachers. For everybody, it should be safe. Now, gender neutral language, using inclusive and gender neutral language to ensure that all students feel valued. So this is what I said, acceptance of every children irrespective of their gender. Balanced representation, promoting balanced representation of both male and female teachers in all subject areas. Now you see, it should not be that physics, chemistry, maths, these teachers are all male, English, social science, these teachers are all female. It should not be this way. It should be mixed up. STEM outreach. What is STEM? I explained to you in the first slide only. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Encouraging girls' interest in STEM fields through outreach programs and female STEM role models. Now, basically, it is seen that STEM programs are taken up by the boys or men, but we should also encourage the female to take up these STEM outreach programs, all right, or the courses. That is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, parental involvement, engaging parents and guardians in discussion about gender equity and bias in education. We should inform, or we should educate the parents also, and the community also, and the society also about the discussions. We should have discussions about the gender roles, about the gender equality, about the gender inequality, how we can take care of gender inequality. What can you do as parents? What can I do as teacher? What can you do as a community? So that we have to share our views and thoughts on each other so that everybody feels valued and accepted in the society. Encouraging non-traditional career choices, encouraging students of all gender to explore career options without limitation based on traditional gender roles. For these examples demonstrate both the presence of gender bias in education and strategies to promote more equitable educational practices. Now you see, we should break the traditional career choices. It should not be like that boys only can become the engineers, or boys can only become the doctors, or boys can only become the maths and science teacher. It should not be this way. It should be anybody can do anything, and it should not be like the girls can become nurse or the girls should become teacher. It should not be this way. Let the boys decide what he wants to become. Let the girls decide what she wants to become. You have no rights and you should not interfere. When you interfere, then you are stereotypical person and you are discriminating between the two gender types. So That's why, my dear friends, to stay safe, happy, and healthy in the environment peacefully with one another, respect each other and respect the sexes or the genders which we have in the society. All right, let everybody decide their own what they want to do. Don't impose anything, either be it the course or be it the job. You don't say anything, let them decide by themselves. All right, so this is all in this video. So thank you everyone for staying connected with the Shok Tutorials Meghalaya first time to channel. Thank you.